So a lot of you guys have been requesting an FAQ or a frequently asked questions kind of video. If not, you also asked me to do a 50 facts kind of thing. In the end, I decided to do the latter because for the questions, I received quite a lot of them and I still have to sift through everything. Either way, it's about time that I get this 50 facts video done with because you can't really like or relate to someone without getting to know them a bit more, right? So let's get on with the 50 random and weird facts about me. 50. That's quite a lot, huh? But don't worry, I'm gonna do this quite fast. My name is Eileen Adalit and I'm from the Philippines. I'm currently 26 years old and I was born in a small island called Batanes, which makes me an island girl. Moreover, I'm actually proud to be a part of the ethnic group called as the Ivatan people. I only learned how to properly swim when I was in my 20s, and a lot of people found this quite ironic given that I was born in an island, which is in an archipelago, and which probably has a lot of people who actually know how to swim. Even if I've managed to learn how to swim now, I'm still quite terrified of the ocean. If I can still see corals underneath, I'm quite fine. But when it's somewhere deep where you can't really see the ocean floor, I just tense up as I frantically try to get away. I have 2 siblings and I'm the youngest. My sister is just a year older than me, but my brother and I actually have a 15-year age gap. I have a lot of relatives and I don't even know most of the names of my cousins, aunts, and uncles. After all, my mom and dad each have 10 siblings, or was it 11? See, I don't even remember how many there are. I was very shy when I was young. It actually took me a while to gain some confidence, or I just faked it till I make it. It seems I did it real good because I'm still astonished by the fact that I did a lot of public speaking before. I was also very boyish. Like really boyish. I also love playing a lot with the boys in my neighborhood, so it often led me to having a lot of scars on my legs. It's fine though because in a way they're like battle scars. And since I was so boyish, of course my mom wanted me to be more girly. So she made me join beauty pageants.
Hello darkness, my old friend.
Surprisingly, I won some, but I will never do that again. And yeah, I did end up being girlier, but not so much. I was an honor student and I was always at the top of my class. This was partly due to my Asian parents' guidance, which is quite the norm. Speaking of which, the subject that I was really good at was mathematics. I even joined competitions, and now I don't know what happened. Really. I'm just horrible with mathematics now, and I hate anything that involves numbers. As a child, I treated the pig that my dad kept in his farm as my pet. Naturally, I called her Babe. One day, my dad and his workers decided to butcher the pig for a festival, and I only found out later in the day, after eating the food, that it was actually the said pig. This event traumatized me for a short while and almost made me vegan. I wanted to be a well-known singer when I was younger. Thankfully, I didn't end up tone deaf and I can actually sing, even if I didn't take singing lessons. I was even part of a band. However, that dream isn't really something that I aspire for anymore. All I just want now though is to just learn an instrument so that maybe I can make some songs for myself and then enjoy singing them. I love to dance. I performed a lot of dances when I was in high school, but then life took over and I haven't really danced as much as I would like to. I have terrible eyesight and I'm nearsighted. In times that I don't use my glasses, I use contact lenses. My height is 5 feet and 5 inches. Some of you guys who have met me in person were actually surprised by my height. Of course, it's not a really tall height, but apparently I seem to have given off the impression that I am short as per my photos online. I have huge and wide feet, so it's sometimes a challenge for me to find good fitting shoes, especially heels, which is kind of a shame because I love wearing heels. I speak 4 languages: English, Tagalog, Ivatan, which is our local dialect in Batanes, which is regarded as a language itself, and Dutch, but only basic. I learned it when I was still living in Belgium. Ik wil meer Nederlands praten met meer mensen, maar dat gebeurt niet. I used to be really good in sports. I played for my high school's track, volleyball, and softball team. But now I suck at it. I still like being active though, like going on hikes or going to the gym, but just not sports. I have a very bad memory, and I once had constant intrusive thoughts that I would lose all my memories. So that's when I started writing diaries and then eventually transitioning to blogging. I have double-jointed thumbs. I only realized that it was different when my ex was horrified at how it moved. My best guess is that it became this way because of an injury that I had when I was young, which almost left me with no thumb. Or maybe I was just born with this. Either way, I kinda like this because I like the look on other people's faces when I start doing this. In the past, I refused to eat burgers and pizzas. For some reason, they made me puke. Right now, I love burgers, but I still don't like pizza. I mean, I can eat it, but I prefer not to eat them. I love dipping things in vinegar. In fact, I can even drink vinegar. I know it's bad and I'm doing it in moderation now, but before it got so extreme that I became seriously acidic because of it. I have developed a tolerance for sugar. I really don't like sugar as much. Of course, I still like sweets, but the most that I will eat is one piece or one bite of anything that's too sweet. But I still love junk food, which I'm still trying to curb. I don't drink alcohol anymore, and to think that I used to be that kind of girl who can handle multiple shots. So now I'm that boring person in parties who drinks water, juice, or mocktails. I actually stopped drinking when I wanted to empathize with my ex who couldn't drink because of a stomach problem. And the first time that I drank alcohol was back in 2014 or 2015, and when I had my first sip of it, I just knew that I didn't want to drink it anymore or at all. Of course, I can still drink it during occasions, but I prefer not to. I also don't like soft drinks. The only time that I will drink it is if it's the only drink that's available, or if I'm seasick, because it quite helps. I may travel a lot, but I'm actually afraid of flying. In some days I can handle it, but most of the time I can't. I wasn't like this before because I've flown small airplanes that felt like they were being torn apart in the air, but funnily enough, this irrational fear was triggered when I started doing longer flights in bigger and sturdier planes. I've traveled to over 49 countries and 6 continents so far, and one of my goals in life is to travel to every country in the world. However, I am in no rush to do this. I badly want to have a pet dog again, but I can't, and it's mostly because of my travel lifestyle, and also because my apartment doesn't allow pets. Of course, I can leave my dog with relatives or friends, but what's the point of having one if I'm going to leave it all the time? After all, I'm often traveling now in every month. So it's a bit of a struggle because I can't give up traveling just yet. And no, I don't want to bring my dog in my travels because I don't want him to suffer through airplane rides. I was a geek. Well, I still am. In my younger years, I used to hole up in my bedroom after school to play computer games, watch anime, and browse the internet up until the wee hours of the night. So whenever my school friends were looking for me, they always knew where to find me, which is at home or at a computer cafe. Today, nothing much changed. I still browse the internet and watch anime, but I try my best not to download any game because if I do, I don't think you guys will see me anymore. I love reading books. As a kid, I often skipped classes so that I can go to the school library and finish the books that I like. At home, I would go under the covers and read up late in the night just so I can finish a book, which probably helped in making my eyesight as bad as it is today. Before I started this whole travel lifestyle, I worked for different multinational companies such as Nestle, Unilever, Siemens, and Deutsche Bank. For sure, it was fun and challenging, but I just didn't like the corporate scene or the whole 9-to-5 grind. It worked for others, but not for me. So at 21, I quit my secure job to pursue my dreams. It was scary because my family is not well off, so I was a young and broke lady who was off to do something that seemed stupid. But thankfully, everything worked out. And right now, I have a wonderful career that revolves around my travel blog and my online business, which is called as Adalit Gear. I can sleep in almost anywhere, no matter how tiny or cramped the space is. And this is definitely helpful when I'm flying or sitting in small economy plane seats. I'm an extrovert for a short period of time, or depending on the people that I'm with. For the rest, I just love being by myself, which is probably why I like traveling solo. Of course, it's not that I don't like people, it's just that I need a lot of time to recharge before I go out and socialize again. Speaking of which, I love living alone. I actually started doing that when I was 18, which is not quite the norm in my country. Right now, I have my own apartment and I just love having my own pad. I like pop music, but for the most part, I have an old soul. I just love jazz and classical music, and unfortunately, I only have a few friends who like the same genre. I hate multiple holes that are clustered together. For example, a beehive or... just saying this now just made me feel like something was crawling under my skin. But yeah, I'm sure there's a term for this, but I won't bother googling it because I will definitely regret it. I dislike horror movies. I think that the first movie that really did it for me was the original 1990s movie of It. I thankfully didn't develop a fear for clowns, but after watching that movie, it just kept me up at night for months, and I just hated it. On the other hand, I love zombie movies though, which can be quite contradicting with my dislike for horror films. I also love action movies or anything that's related to world wars. And I guess it's mostly because I watched them a lot together with my dad when I was young, which thankfully didn't screw my personality when I was growing up. Or did it? Of course, this is not because I love wars or violence. I definitely don't. I just really like the concept of moral certainties, tactics, action, and heroes, even if some movies can be really dumb. I'm better at communicating with people through writing. This is probably why I had a blog first before I had this YouTube or vlog channel. After all, I often have difficulty in articulating myself, so it had developed into some sort of insecurity of mine for years. In fact, it took me months to have confidence just to talk in front of a camera. One day, I will write a book. It doesn't really have to be about my life. Truth be told, I used to write fictional stories, and I still have some of those ideas which I hope to work on when I have the time. When I'm bored, I do this little game with my toes wherein I move them up and down simultaneously in tune with the syllables of some words or phrases that I randomly come up with. And if my toes are up in the end, then I win. Yay. Yeah, I don't know, it's a stupid game, but I can't seem to get it off my system. Please send help. I was a part of a Guinness World Record back when the Philippines held the most number of people modeling on a catwalk. However, that record was broken back in 2015. It was a nice try though, and I was still thankful that I was a part of it. I have a really difficult time picking favorites, so it's always a struggle for me when people ask me questions like, what's your favorite country? What's your favorite cuisine? What's your favorite color? And no, pink isn't really my favorite color, even if I seem to use it a lot online. I guess in a way I just like it visually, but I don't own a lot of pink things. I can be a very messy person, but I usually snap out of it after a day or two, and then I go on a cleaning frenzy. Cleaning just makes me so happy, as well as shopping for groceries. It's sort of therapeutic in a way. Okay, now that just made me sound like an old lady. I am completely hopeless when it comes to texting or messaging back to other people, even if they're my family or close friends. I'm really sorry about that. Overall, I hope that helped you guys in knowing me a lot better, even if some facts are quite weird or useless. I'm sorry. Anyhow, please do leave a thumbs up if you can relate to any of the top 50 facts that I've shared. But before I end this video, I would love it if you can comment below and share at least one interesting fact about yourself. That being said, thank you guys for watching up until the end. I'll see you guys next time. Bye!